Hi guys, welcome back to another Mail Out Monday video where I just tell you all of the things that sold online on all of the platforms and what they sold for. I do this every Monday, so if you're interested in that, please consider hitting the subscribe button. My name is Crystal. I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, Makari, Thredup, and The RealReal. And all that means is that I sell people's trash on the internet, and that is how I pay my bills. So, again, if you're interested in reseller content, which is what we call it, then consider hitting the subscribe button. Also, turn that little bell notification on. You'll get notified every time I upload a video, which right now is twice a week. And also, if you like this video at any time, feel free to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. All right. So this week was an interesting week. I had like some really great sales days, and then I did have one sales day where I didn't sell anything on Poshmark, Makari, or eBay, and I did actually sell something on Thredup that day, so thank God for Thredup, because otherwise I would have had a $0 day, which I know is going to happen at some point, but I'm just not ready for it yet, okay? So, and also, what else happened this week? I feel like this week's been, Thredup Drama. We're going to get into that. And yeah, it's been a good week though. So I usually will only give you 5 items that sold online. And this week I'm going to give you 10 because I'm going to do 3 from eBay, 3 from Poshmark, 3 from Makari, and 1 from Thredup. So we're going to get right into it because we've got a lot of ground to cover. And when we get to the Thredup sale, we will talk a little bit about the drama that happened this week with Thredup and my 2 cents on what that means for my business going forward. And again, the advice is free here, so you get what you paid for, okay? So I will always tell you how I feel straight up, like no BS. That's just how I live my life. You can like it, and I hope you do, and if you don't, I don't care. So anyway, let's get right into the sales because we've got a lot of ground to cover. So this is for the week of, what month are we in? Oh my gosh, October. This is for the week of October 5th through the 11th. I run my weeks from Monday to Sunday. That's just what works in my brain. So everybody does it a little differently. Do whatever works for you. All right, let's start with eBay. So we're going to start off with the lowest sale of the week, and it was this LL Bean vintage beaded belt. It was leather. It was from 1993, I think. And I think that the reason that it sold so low, obviously I put it out on an auction, so that's mistake number 1. But also it had like a divot in, like where the belt would be like this, it had like a little divot in it, so it was flawed. I think if I had put it up on Buy It Now, it probably would have still sold for more than what it sold for, but you live and you learn. I got it at the bins. I've only had it sold within a week because I put it on a 7-day auction. It sold first time around, so it doesn't really, like, it didn't cost me that much, didn't take up that much time or space, so it's fine. It sold for $1.25. Not ideal, better than 99 cents. So that's the lowest sale for this week. Next sale was the quickest sale of the week, and this was a Ted Baker floral pink cardigan. I've never found Ted Baker before. I was at the bins and I was kind of like discouraged because I hadn't found a lot of stuff that day, and it was coming towards the end of the day, and I had spent all day there. And it was coming towards the end of the day, and I found this, and I was like, ooh, I've never found Ted Baker before. I've heard it does really well. So that was like the highlight of that bins trip. And it sold in 12 hours for $30. So that's pretty good. All right, and then the last thing that I'm going to talk about on eBay is my highest sale of the week across all platforms besides Thredup. So my Thredup sale was actually the highest sale of the week, but this is a very close second. They were like neck and neck. So this is a pair of Nike Dunk Sky High black wedge sneakers. I have sold these before in a green and maroon, which I thought was a very interesting color combination. And those sold for $60, I think, the last time I sold them. So I was not planning on taking anything less than that. And these were black on black, so I knew that they would do a little bit better. I got a ton of offers on these, and I just kept countering at my absolute lowest, and nobody wanted to pull the trigger. So I waited for a little while, and finally they sold this week for $65, which was my absolute lowest that I was going to take on these. I did pay up for these. I bought them from a buy-sell trade, so I still made good money on those, so I'm really excited about that. I always get a little more excited when my buy-sell trade stuff sells because I have so much money invested in it, and to pay up for something is kind of like, to me, it's like betting on myself, like on my knowledge, because I'm putting in a lot more money than if I had picked it up at the bins. So, you know, sometimes I've paid upwards of $50, sometimes even more than that. Actually, I think the highest thing I ever bought from a buy sell trade was $65. And $65 is a lot of money to put into an item and like kind of bank on the fact that, you know, like your knowledge and your research is gonna have to pay off for that. And so that's a little scary. I mean, like, I have been doing this for 3 years, but still, it's still nerve-wracking to put out that money and wonder when you're gonna get it back. So whenever anything sells from a buy sell trade, it's a little bit more exciting for me than a bin sale. Not that bin sales are not exciting, because they for sure are, but it's just kind of a validation that, like, I do kind of know what I'm doing a little bit, and like I can trust my research and whatever. Anyway, that's a tangent on that. Okay, we're moving to Poshmark. Poshmark. I had 2 days this week on Poshmark where I didn't sell anything, and that was kind of sucky, but I still, for the rest of the days, did pretty good. So, all right, we'll talk about, I have 2 sales on Poshmark that were tied for my highest sale on Poshmark, so we're just going to talk through them. First thing that sold were a pair of teal Allbirds. They were called the Tree Skippers. I've talked about this in some of my other videos if you've seen them. I think I even did a haul video on where I picked these up from. I paid up a little bit for these. I bought them at like a Goodwill, a regular Goodwill, not the bins. And I bought them the same week that I had already sold a pair of women's Allbirds. So, in my opinion, women's Allbirds do a lot better than men's Allbirds, and it could just be the style that I'm picking up of men's Allbirds, but I have had 2 pairs of men's Allbird wool runners listed for almost a month now, maybe, and in that time I have sold 2 pairs, one that was picked up at the same time and one that was picked up after I had listed the men's Allbirds. So women's Allbirds are moving quicker for me. I don't know if it's just because I'm getting good styles or what it is, or sorry, meme. My grandmother always comments on me rubbing my nose, but there's always dust in here, and dog hair. So anyway, they were teal. They were very cute, and I think they were good size. I want to say 9, but I don't remember. But they sold for $40, and they sold pretty quickly. That was a full price sale. And I feel like I need to say that when I'm talking about Poshmark, because a lot of my stuff on Poshmark sells through offers. But actually, everything that I'm going to talk about today, I'm going to talk about 3 things, and all 3 of them were full price sales. So, next thing is a pair of American Eagle distressed high-rise jeans. I picked these up at a yard sale. I think I paid $3 for them, and they sold for $20. So, not all American Eagle jeans sell. If you don't know, American Eagle has a little tag on the inside, like right where you would think like the content, is that the word? The like fabric tag is. There's also a tiny little tag that has like the month and the year, and that's like when it was produced and like sold. So I try to stay away from anything right now, anything under 2018. So these were definitely newer, and they sold for $20 pretty quickly. So quick $20. I haven't had them more than 2 weeks, I feel like. Sorry for shaking my camera. And then the last thing that sold is a pair. Nope. It's an Eileen Fisher 100% silk long sleeve dress with a tie around the waist. It was buttoned down, I think. And it sold for $40. Here's the thing about this. One, I picked this up. No, it was sent to me by Sarah, Thriftology. I talk about her a lot. If you do not follow her on Instagram, you should. And I bought a box from her a while ago of all Eileen Fisher stuff. This was in that box, so I, again, paid a little bit more than usual because it was shipped to my house. So I would consider that like a wholesale kind of, and so I paid a little bit more per piece. Most of that stuff is sold though, and I've definitely made my money back on it. I might actually do a follow-up video on that coming soon, so stay tuned. And the other thing about that is the size tag was cut. Yeah, the size tag was cut, so I didn't actually know what size it was. I just had to provide measurements. I picked most of my Eileen Fisher stuff out of my closet and sent it to Thredup, because I get a really good payout over there for Eileen Fisher stuff, and it tends to sit a little bit more for me on the other platforms. So I pulled a bunch of stuff and sent it to Thredup. Now, Thredup does not take anything that does not have a size tag or a brand tag. So when I went to go put this in the box, I noticed that it didn't have the size tag, and I was like, well, can't send this. So it sold though. So it sold for $40. I'm not mad at it. Would I have gotten more on Thredup? Probably, but it is what it is, right? So, I'm not mad at $40 though. So that was the second thing. The Allbirds and the Eileen Fisher dress were tied for highest sale of the week on Poshmark, so that was pretty good. And the Makari showed up this week, so we're going to talk about Makari sales. I only had 3 sales on Makari, but I normally am lucky if I have 1 sale on Makari a week. So 3 sales in 1 week is pretty good from Makari. So let's talk about them. One, we have talked about in another video, so sorry for repeating myself, but it is what it is. This was a Disney Frozen plus size dress. I assume that you can use it for a costume, and it's about that time, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's what it was used for. If not, it was just a really cute dress that you could wear anywhere. I would have wore it. And you've already seen a picture of it, but I'm going to pop it up again. And my friend Kristen actually got that with me. When did we go to the bins? Must have been last week, and I listed it this week, and it sold same day. So it was also a quick same day. I don't know. I said in my last video about this how quickly it sold, so go back there if you're really, really curious about that. But it definitely sold within 24 hours. So it sold for $19, and I got it at the bins. My friend Kristen picked it up, and it was her first time at the bins, so she did pretty good. And next thing that sold is the North Face purple zip up fleece. It was a child size, like youth, I think, youth large. It was purple. It wasn't anything special. I got it at the bins. It was very lightweight. And it sold for $15 shipped, which I don't normally do, even on Makari. I know a lot of people have a strategy on Makari of offering free shipping. I don't usually do that, but somebody messaged me and asked me if I would sell it to them for $15 shipped, and I said, I had it listed for $18, I think, and I was like, sure. It cost me $5 to ship, so I ended up making $10 minus fees. I don't even think it was the same person that purchased it though, because I messaged that person and said, okay, I changed the pricing and now offered free shipping. You're free to buy, and never heard anything back from them. And I believe it was a different username that purchased it anyway. So it is what it is. And then the last thing just sold today. It's Sunday. And I was filming on Sunday, and I put these out on Monday, just an FYI. This I also picked up this week. It was a pair of Nike black and pink compression like running shorts, and they sold for $22, which was the highest sale of the week on Makari, and I'm not mad at that either. I used to be able to tell you very quickly what I made after fees on Makari because it was just a flat 10%. They have since October 1st started doing a processing fee as well, and I have not taken the time yet to learn what percentage that is. So I don't really know, but it's still less than Poshmark, so not mad at that either. And before we get into the Thredup stuff, we're going to talk about one more thing. I had one of my the best sales day on Wednesday, I think. I think it was Wednesday. The following day, I had 0 sales. Oh, it was Thursday because this is a Thredup sale. I had 0 sales on all of the platforms. I had 2 return cases opened on that day. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I posted, it is a roller coaster. This is the first time I've really had to deal with that since going full time. I'm not surprised by it. It did not alarm me because I have been selling for so long. I know that returns happen all of the time. It has been a while though. So, and neither one of my returns were on eBay, which was very surprising because eBay is like, I feel like return central. But I haven't had one in a while, knock on wood. So I had one open on Poshmark and one open on Makari. Both of them were for shoes and both of them were for fit, which I thought was very interesting. So I did all I could do on both of those cases by listing the size. And I even went a step further in one of the cases. It was a pair of boots and they were wide leg and she asked for a circumference measurement, which I provided. And then she had said that they still did not fit her. And so I, was very polite, whatever, commented on both cases and just said, like, I listed them the way that the shoe was sized. And, there's not much I can do about the fact that they don't fit. And I just left it at that and I let them figure it out. Both of the cases were overturned and I got to keep my money on both cases, which was great. But I did want to talk about Makari return policy for a minute. I've only had one return on Makari that was like actually returned. And I use air quotes on returned because it was for color. Like she said that it was the wrong color or whatever. And I was like, fine, send them back, whatever. Like Makari didn't give me a choice. So they were like, okay. So she sent them back with tracking and everything. They never got to my house. And I had contacted Makari customer support and said, hey, these say they've been delivered, but I didn't receive them. And Makari was basically like, oh, well. And that was really irritating to me because not only was I out the money because they refunded her money, but I was also out the product that I sent out. And Makari had, like, they didn't give any cares at all, like nothing. So I was a little nervous when the second case was open this week because it was like, okay, like I know for a fact I could just resell them. Like it's not a big deal. They sold very quickly. I have no doubt somebody else will purchase them if I get the item back. So that's why I wasn't really upset about the return. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's Makari. What if they don't get returned and I don't have the item anymore and I don't have the money? So luckily that did not happen. And we are thanking the thrift gods this week for that. So that was the drama for my life of this week. And now we're going to get into Thredup. So before I go over the sale with you, I'm going to give you my 2 cents on Thredup. If you are living somewhere under a rock and you do not know that Thredup changed their pricing overnight and really shook the reseller community, I don't know where you've been, but it happened. Thredup decided that they were only going to do, I think, up to 50% of MSRP instead of the 80% that they've been allowing. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that they were getting so much inventory in and they weren't moving it as quickly because a lot of people were jacking their prices all the way up to max. I don't know. I don't know why they did it. They're a business. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do. Do I think they should have given us a little bit more notice? Yeah, probably. But they're a business and ultimately they're going to do what's right for their business. And I don't fault them for that. it makes sense to me that they would not want to have inventory sitting around for so long. So I'm not surprised at all that they did it. And there was a bunch of people that were not complaining, but just like making comments on Instagram and tagging Thredup in it. There were people that sent emails to customer service. Like there was a bunch of kind of uproar in the reseller community in particular. And I don't know how other people are reacting, people who are not resellers. And so basically Thredup retracted. And they said, okay, we'll allow you to do that for now. But everybody knows it's still coming because Thredup has already said like they are trying to restructure and they will give us 30 days. That's the current information before they change it again. However, it is coming. So now people are kind of like freaking out. People are pulling stuff off of Thredup, or they're trying to get in as much before they change it or whatever. People are starting to have to reevaluate their strategy when they're sending things to Thredup. Now, here's how this affects my business. It does not affect my business at all. I sell on 5 platforms for a reason. You need to diversify where your income is coming from if this is how you're making your living. Even if it's not, but specifically if this is how you're making your living, you need to diversify because Thredup can change their prices at any time. They're a business. Poshmark can change their sellers' qualifications or their payout or their seller fees or anything like that at any time because they are a business. We've seen this with eBay multiple times. There have been talks about eBay pushing free shipping for a while and it hasn't happened yet, but it can happen at any time because eBay is its own business. So you need to be proactive in your business and make sure that your eggs are in a bunch of different baskets and kind of flow with it. When one platform goes down, either decide that you're going to not sell on there anymore, change your strategy, or whatever you need to do for your business so that you're okay. That's what I would say to do. Now, I do not sell a ton on Thredup right now. I was just starting to gear up and I've got, I think, 7 boxes into them and they're slowly starting to process through that stuff. So I'm not reclaiming anything. And here's why. My strategy for Thredup has always been buy low. So I don't send anything into Thredup that I sourced specifically for Thredup unless it was at the bins. There are 2 exceptions that just went in one of my boxes that I sent out this week that I actually paid a little bit more for than I would have liked. But moving forward, I'm only going to pick up stuff at the bins, and I'm only going to pick up stuff that I, even with the 50% payout that they're going to do, would sell for more money on Thredup or for quicker, because that is something that I care about as well. If it's going to be sitting around for a while and I can sell it quicker at Thredup, I'm going to send it into Thredup. Now, bins prices are $1.09 a pound. So if I'm sending a 30-pound box, I've got like $35-40 in that box. And then, expedited shipping, which I'm going to continue to pay for. I may stop asking for my items back because I think that's another $10 charge. So that may be something that I stop doing moving forward just to save a little bit of money if I am sourcing it at the bins. So right now, currently, my strategy is not changing because it's been the same even when the payouts are high. So I'm going to buy at the bins, exclusively at the bins for Thredup. And the only other thing that I'm going to start sending to Thredup is anything that's been in my closet for over a year that I'm done looking at. I'm going to just pull it from my closet, put it in a box, and send it out to Thredup. Because at a year point, if I've had it for a year, in my opinion, it was a bad buy. And so if I can offload it onto Thredup, no matter what I get, it's still better than donating it. So that's really how my strategy is going to be for Thredup moving forward. And that has not changed from the way that it is now. So that's just a little 2 cents on like how I've been playing Thredup anyway. And so that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I hope that that was helpful in some way to you. But really that was just like a rant that I felt like I needed to say. So anyway, with all that being said, this sale is a prime example of the reason that I'm not going to stop sending stuff to Thredup. because their customer base is different than any other platform that I sell on. So these items are reaching a different customer base. And there are things that I could sell on Thredup that I couldn't sell any other place. Now, obviously, this is not the case, but I'm going to explain this to you. Okay. This was a pair of Eileen Fisher black pants. I got them at the bins. I remember because I was like, I'm getting these and I'm sending them into Thredup. I do not like photographing black pants. All black pants look the same to me. When I'm looking through people's closets, when I'm looking through my own closet, it just looks the same, even if it's Eileen Fisher. So I knew I was sending these into Thredup, boxed them up, sent them in. They sold for $117.99 on Thredup. I think they might have lost them, honestly, because they were like unavailable. Not unavailable, because unavailable usually means they pull them for a goodie box. They were like not listed for a week, and I had contacted customer support and said, hey, everything in this box is listed except for this one item. What's going on? Never got a response, and then they just paid me out for it. I'm not mad at that. Lose more of my items. Cool. So my payout for that was $75.05. I probably could have sold those pants for maybe $50 on my own, which is still pretty good, but it's not $75.05. So, and that money is in my bank account now. I transferred it out. Like, it is mine. So, I mean, that's $75 that I wouldn't have had if I didn't sell on Thredup. So, I'm going to continue to sell on Thredup. I'm going to continue to kind of try and figure out what's good to send there and what's not. This is still a learning curve for me. And I wasn't super proficient in Thredup anyway, so it's not like I had like these elaborate strategies on what I was sending and what I wasn't. It was all trial and error anyway, and that's like the perk of buying stuff at the bins is it's so cheap that you have the ability to do that. So I'm going to just continue to do that. And I'm going to stop talking about Thredup now because we are almost 30 minutes into this video. And if you are still with me, thanks for hanging out. I really do appreciate you guys. I will see you on the next one. I'm about to film a haul video, so stay tuned for that. Make sure your bell notification is on. That's going to probably go out on Thursday just because I like naming them Thrift Haul Thursdays. So I kind of like alliteration. If you didn't know, that's why I do a mail out Monday, Thrift Haul Thursdays. So if you have any advice for any content that you think that you want to see, drop it in the comments. Also, still looking for audiobook recommendations. I have a new subscriber that gave me a bunch of, what's the word? Oh my gosh, I just like blanked. Like, what is happening? It was just like nothing was going on in my brain. I have a new subscriber. She left a bunch of recommendations and I'm going to check those out this week. So thank you so much. Welcome to the tribe, and I really appreciate the suggestions. Keep them coming because I listen to stuff all the time. I don't like silence. So I really like to have things playing in the background, books, TV, movies, podcasts, all of it, like all of the content all the time. So anyway, with all that being said, thanks so much for hanging out, guys. I really appreciate it. Until next time. Bye.